We've been looking at financial maths, and the good news is that now we actually know how to use all of these formulae that we will get on the formula sheet. And then just a reminder, the nominal to effective conversion, that's not given to us, so that's one that we do need to learn. Today we're going to focus specifically on something called the balance of payments. So what we know is that we've got future value annuities, which work in terms of investment. I will have my money in the future. And we've got present value annuities, which work in terms of loans because I need money now. And that's the one that we're going to focus on when we talk about balance of payments. So when you have a loan and you take it out, what you are committing to do is to pay X amount every month for however many months, or sometimes it happens to be quarterly, or you make annual payments or something like that. But the thing is, there's always this interest being charged on your loan, and so you end up paying so much more than what you actually borrowed. And so often people will say, well, let me find out how much I owe. Can I just pay this off in a lump sum and then be done with owing money? Okay, and that is often referred to as a settlement amount. So how can I settle my loan means I want to know how much I owe right now, and then possibly we can pay off a big chunk of money. So people often do that if they happen to inherit large sums of money. Then they say, well, let me rather just pay off all my debt. I'm going to settle my loans and live a debt-free life. Okay, so that's often when we see these outstanding balance payments coming into play. Now, there are two main methods that you can do this, but I certainly find this one to be the easiest, and that's you take your standard present value formula, and here in the place of n, you use the number of months left in the loan term. So, for example, if you took out a 20-year loan, and you decide to find out the balance of payment in 15 years, then what you need to do, so let's say balance at 15 years, then what you need to do is you need to say, okay, well, how many years are left? Well, it was a 20-year loan minus the 15 that I've paid. I've got 5 years left. And so then what I would do is to substitute into that n value there. So therefore, n is equal to 5. And then if I was paying it monthly or whatever the case is. Okay, and remember there, that's a negative, so it would technically be minus 5 times the monthly payments. Okay, the best thing to do, as always, is to jump into some examples and make sure that we understand this. So Ayanda takes out a 2-year loan of 55,083 Rand and 61 cents to buy a MacBook Pro. The interest rate is 18% per annum compounded monthly, and we've got some monthly repayments. Calculate his settlement amount, in other words, his outstanding balance, after 10 months. So you'll probably find Ayanda has been paying for 10 months this very high computer installment. I mean, that's nearly 3,000 Rand a month. And now he wants to know, okay, if I don't want to pay this every month, how much do I still owe this financial institution that granted me a loan? And let's take it from there and see what we would need to pay to get rid of this loan. Okay, so there's my present value formula. And I am ready to work out the balance of payment here. Okay, I like putting the formula down because it helps me to see what unknowns I could be dealing with. So let's quickly highlight all of those, and then we'll see what we need to fill in. Okay, this P, the present value, that would be the loan over the full 2 years or 24 months, because I can see everything else here is monthly, so that's how my brain is working. Okay, but that's actually not what we're working out. We want to know the balance of payment. So that means P is our unknown. That's what we want to work out. So let's make a little note here. P equals question mark. We know what it is for the full 24 months, but we don't know what it is after 10 months. So that's why we don't know there. X, the monthly installments, are set at 2,750 Rand. I, we take our interest rate there, which is 18%. So because it's percent, we divide by 100. And it's compounded monthly. So divide by 1,200 there in total. And then the N value, remember what's different about this balance of payment is that we want to know how many months left. Okay, how many are left, question mark. So we'll take, they were supposed to be 24. We've paid off 10, or Ayanda has anyway, paid off 10. So that means there are 14 left. Okay, then we're going to substitute that all into this beautiful formula. So in the place of x, 2,750 Rand, 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate there, 18 over 1,200, to the power of minus 14 now, the remaining term, divided by 18 over 1,200. Okay, and then we pop that all into the calculator. Check that you don't make any sign mistakes, or sometimes the calculator doesn't register all the zeros, so just double check all your typing before you hit the equals. And then what we'll see is that Ayanda still owes, let's see, 34,494 Rand, and then it says, 29913. So we can round off here to rands and cents, so, and 30 cents then would be the balance there. Okay, let's say what they're doing here in question 2, how much will Ayanda save if he settles the loan after 10 months? Okay, so he may have gone to the bank and said, how much do I still owe? But let's say Ayanda was very fortunate and was gifted a large sum of money or something like that, and he decides, okay, he can actually afford to pay this off. Let's work out how much he will save by doing that. Okay, now this is going to take a few steps, but it's not difficult. We just need to first of all figure out how much contractually was Ayanda supposed to pay. Okay, so the installment there is 2,750 Rand for 24 months. So that means originally Ayanda agreed to pay 66,000 Rand back in this loan. Okay, I love looking at stuff like that because it just shows. Here the product was only 55,000 Rand, not only, but compared to the loan, that means 11,000 Rand or almost 11,000 Rand is just going to interest. Okay, so it's never the best idea to take out a loan if you can possibly avoid it. Okay, but that was the original contract. Okay, Ayanda has already paid, let's do this in a new color, has paid. Okay, how many installments has he made? He's made the 10 installments, so it's going to be the 2,750 multiplied by 10, so that's going to give us 2,7500, because we're just multiplying there by 10, so 27,500 Rand. Okay, and then the balance of payment will also have to be made, right? So balance to pay off this big bulky loan is then the 34,494 Rand and 30 cents. Okay, so we can then conclude he saves. Let's figure out. If he was supposed to pay 66,000 Rand in total, but he's only going to pay what he has paid, the 27,500, and then this balance here of 34,494 and 30 cents. Let's see what's left that he would have paid as part of the 66,000 Rand, but now won't be paying. Okay, if we pop that in on our calculator, we get an answer of 4,005 Rand and 70 cents. Okay, so every bit helps. If he pays it off in a shorter period of time, he saves himself 4,005 Rand and 70 cents. Let's look at another example. Kayla takes out a 5-year loan of 240,000 Rand to fund her engineering degree. She is required to make quarterly payments of 17,270 Rand and 90 cents starting 3 months after the loan is granted. Okay, let's come and talk about that next. The interest rate is 12% compounded quarterly. Okay, so the way that our formula works, let's get our formula in here. Okay, this formula was drawn up so that these time periods start exactly one time period after the loan is taken out. So if you picture this being a monthly loan, it makes sense. If you take out the loan now, that you would start paying it at the end of that month. So the fact that they've said here starting 3 months after the loan is granted is actually a good thing for us, because it means it applies perfectly to this formula. Okay, why? Because everything here is quarterly, and 3 months, if you think about it, 3 months out of 12 months in the year is a quarter. So basically they're saying this is good. Kayla's taking out the loan and she's going to start paying it off 1 quarter after taking it out. Okay, so everything is in order. We don't need to worry too much. It's not a complex question in that regard, but it is worth noting that we start paying at the end of the next payment period. Okay, so the first thing they want is the balance of the loan, and then they want to know how much she will save if she can pay this loan off in 3 years. Okay, so let's quickly figure out all the things we need. Okay, again, we're going to work out that p-value. X is equal to the monthly payments there they've given us, not monthly, quarterly payments, 17,270 Rand and 90 cents. Starting 3 months after the loan, that's cool. Interest rate is 12% compounded quarterly. There's a 4 for the quarter and 100 for the percent. And then they want the balance of loan after 3 years. Be careful here now. We need the remaining number of payments. Okay, so N is equal to, we were supposed to pay, or Kayla was supposed to pay for 5 years and in quarters. All right, how much have we already paid? 3 years worth of quarters. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 12 there gives us a remaining 8 periods. Okay, so just make sure that you work out here the remaining time periods, otherwise things are going to go funny in your answer. Okay, let's substitute in what we've got. P is equal to X, is quite a chunky sum, but at least it's only quarterly. 17,270 Rand and 90 cents. 1 minus 1 plus, what do we have there? 12 over 400 to the power of minus 8, all divided by 12 over 400. Let's work that out on our calculators. Okay, so the remaining amount to be paid, the settlement amount, is 121,236 Rand and 40 cents once you calculate this whole thing. Okay, and then the next question says, how much will Kayla save if she pays her loan off in 3 years? So we need to take a similar approach to what we did in the preceding question, where we said, okay, what was the original contract? And the original contract was that Kayla was supposed to pay 17,270 Rand and 90 cents over 5 years quarterly. So let's work that amount out. Okay, that gives us an amount of 345,418 Rand. Okay, lots more than what she borrowed, huh? That's a huge chunk. That's more than 100,000 Rand that just goes to interest. Okay, then what we did was we said how much has already been paid. So payments made. And let's see, we've paid for 3 years quarterly, this 17,270 Rand and 90 cents. Okay, so that's all still pretty much on my calculator. I'm just going to change that length of time there to 3 years. And so there we see that Kayla has already paid 250 Rand and 80 cents. Okay, and then obviously we need to also pay this balance to get rid of the loan. And we saw here that the balance is 121,236 Rand and 40 cents. Okay, so there we go. Let's just differentiate. We had the original contract amount and then these two payments here that have already been made or will need to be made. So she saves. Let's work that out. We take that original amount, 345,418. We're going to subtract the 207,250 and 80 cents and the balance of payments. And we see what's left. On the calculator there, we see that Kayla, if she pays her loan off sooner, will save herself 16,930 Rand and 80 cents. So if ever you can pay a loan off sooner, you save yourself a whole lot of interest. So what we saw was the loan was 240,000. To repay it was more than 340,000, so 100,000 rand more. If you can just repay it over a shorter period of time, we already bring that interest down. So the shorter time period you can take a loan for, the better off you'll be.